Hey, have you ever heard of the Soma family?
So, is it true that you're best friends? You and Shigure?
Us? Best friends?
Well, that's what Momiji said, but maybe he was wrong.
I'm stuck with it, that's all.
Hi, I'm Maegan.
I'm Lily.
Today PDF stands for if you tell a boy that he was your first love and you are a boy, the least that makes you is gay.
So we're talking about Fruits Basket today.
Woo woo woo! Woo woo woo, my favorite show. Woo woo woo!
It's a very good show. Love it very much.
Recommend it. Just so everyone knows, this is going to be a spoiler-tastic episode. So if you are interested in watching Fruits Basket, we'll give you the premise and then tell you spoiler scene, and you'll have to click out.
Yes, we will be definitely spoiling a lot.
Yeah.
If Fruits Basket didn't have a reboot, then I would not be saying like spoilers because
it's pretty old.
It's been 20 years. But
she's got a reboot.
It's much better too.
Yeah, thank you. So the premise of Fruits Basket is there's this young girl in high school named Toru Honda. Both of her parents are dead, but her mother died most recently. And in order to keep from inconveniencing her grandfather, she decides to set up a camp in the woods and live there. While she's there, she runs across the Soma family, the branch she's most familiar with being Yuki Soma, Kyo Soma, and Shigure Soma, and they offer to let her live with them. There's just one catch about it all. Whenever she or any other member of the opposite sex hugs one of the main members of the Soma family, they turn into one of the zodiac animals. Crazy. So Yuki is the rat, pardon me. Kyo is the cat, and Shigure is the dog. And shenanigans unfurl. I'm laughing at shenanigans because while the premise of this shoujo anime is very cutesy and you're like, oh, that sounds like something for kids, it gets dark real fast.
Yes, it does. And I just want to preface, like, you're not like an anime fan, right?
I am not. Not really. No. I like Studio Ghibli.
I actually don't like Studio Ghibli at all.
Oh, that hurts my heart. Okay, you're fine.
Because I don't really like kids' movies and those.
It's not even a kids' movie.
Well, I just want to say, though, I just want to defend myself a little bit.
You're fine.
I do like anime. I'm not like an anime, not crazy, like in a bad way, but like I'm not crazy for it.
You're not weeaboo.
Yes, I'm not weeaboo, but I do have a lot of, if you guys are with us and you guys have watched this reboot of Fruits Basket and you're waiting for the third season because holy crap.
That's
Hitori
where we are right now.
Gorgeous. Hitori, I want to father your kids. I want to mother your children. Oh,
bother your kids, huh? All right,
but,
so
wait. I'm not
keep
done,
going.
Girlfriend.
I just don't know if are we entering the spoiler zone?
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet. Keep going.
I just want to say, I want to give a backstory on how we found Fruits Basket.
Yes.
So
you watched it first, so you go first.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting concept. I mean, it's an interesting story because I watched Fruits Basket quite a few times in high school. I have a terrible memory though, so watching this reboot now is very like, oh, I remember that happening, but a lot of it's a lot different than the first series. It's a lot more emotional. Yeah. So, and then Megan mentioned, like, do you know what Fruits Basket is? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what? And then she mentioned that there was a reboot, and I was like, what? And so that's how I started watching it. But yeah, how did you start watching it?
So I was really depressed the second half of my sophomore year of college.
That is a lot different than how I started watching.
Yeah, I know, right? And I think that was like exactly the time the reboot came out, and I wasn't really aware of it being a reboot, but I was like, I'm sad. This is a show. I'm bored. I'll watch it. Like, I knew nothing going into it. I just looked it up and said, all right, I guess I'm watching it. The first episode I watched was of the reboot because I watched it illegally. And I was like, wow, great premise, great show. I'm so excited. And then there wasn't another free episode of the 2019 one, and I didn't know that it was a reboot. So the next episode was just like a severe drop in animation. I was like, what? What's going on? And then I, like, after research, figured out that one was made in, I think it was 2001, and the other was made in 2019. And I was like, oh, okay. So I watched the rest of the 2001 series, and I think by the time I was finished with that, there was 5 episodes of the 2019 one. So I hopped from the old one to the new one and then watched it the rest of the summer. And honestly, changed my life. My cat's name is Yuki, and when I get another cat, it might be named Kyo if it's an orange one. That's actually
Very
kind of my
weird
dream.
that you named your cat Yuki instead of Kyo.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Because Yuki's the rat, and you'd be like, why was that your first choice? So Yuki,
He does look like Yuki though.
He does. No, that's the thing. He's a gray cat, but he's also kind of he's the most introverted cat I've ever met. But he's very sweet, he's funny, and I think his personality lines more with Yuki's than it would Kyo's. Also, he's gray and he just kind of looks like Yuki. Like,
Yeah.
That's the main reason I switched it, but yeah. He's little Yuki, he's little Yun Yun, he's Uni Bear. Honestly, the love of my life. So I have a very strong connection with Fruits Basket, and I've never been able to talk to anyone about it just because no one I know has seen it. So when Lily was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen the show," I freaked out. I think season 2 was done, so I just caught up with season 2, and Lily was like, "There's a reboot," and I said, "Lily, you have to watch it. Lily, you have to watch it right now."
I will say right now, Reboot is much more dark oriented later on.
Yes.
It's obviously a very Jurassic animation.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
There are themes of abuse and depression
Yes.
and anxiety in it, so make sure you are aware of that before going in.
Yeah,
Because it kind of
trigger
sneaks
warning,
up on you.
It does sneak up on you. It's like a slow but a very fast transition between just kind of like a happy go get 'em anime to like, oh shit,
Oh boy,
this is maybe a dark anime.
Yeah, they take the premise of it and they look beyond it. So at first you're like, oh, ha ha ha, how funny. Whenever they get hugged by the opposite gender, they turn into an animal. How cute and funny. But they look at that premise and the repercussions of what that might be. So all of these kids are like touch starved. All of these kids are depressed or anxious. Like there's lasting effects and side effects, and they look into that. So it's really good. It's such a good show.
And if you're in the same boat as we probably are and going, what do I watch now to get my mind off of this? At the end, I did make a list of a few animes that helped me the first time I ended up finishing Fruits Basket. I made a list of a few that are very similar that helped me get over it. It's like a breakup. Like you need something else to get.
That's so fun. I'll recommend some stuff too. Choo choo choo. Next stop, the spoiler zone.
Choo choo.
Oh, also, just so you know, we skipped the what we did this week segment because we're recording this right off the back of last week's episode, which, if you missed it, has to do with the Destiel controversy. Spoiler zone! Choo-choo!
Spoiler zone! We're on the spoiler train.
Alrighty, right. Lily recently finished season 2, like today or yesterday?
Today, yeah.
Today. What are your thoughts? Tell me. Tell me everything.
Okay. So I just want to first say I am a dub bitch. Like, again, not crazy about a lot of anime. I do have a certain type of anime that I watch very religiously, and it is the same kind of thing as Fruits Basket. But again, I like to do things while I'm watching TV. I knit. I like to do jewelry. I am doing something with my hands constantly, so I hate subtitles. So today I watched the last 4 episodes because they only have season 2, episode 21. They only have that in dub. So I had to watch the last 4 episodes in sub, and it was very hard for me.
Yeah. When I was watching it, I was right in the middle of the coronavirus, so that was when they had to stop recording for people's safety. So I think I had only like 4 or 5 episodes of the dub, which I also prefer, but that's because that's what I watched first. I feel like you usually prefer
Yes.
what you watch first, unless the voice dubbers just don't fit the tone of the scene at all, which are with some animes I've seen, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I prefer the sub because these actors are not doing it for me. But with this one I do prefer the dub. I think it's really they're all really good. They're fabulous.
Yeah.
But
And
I
and
also like the sub. It's fine.
for a native English speaker, I just like dub because you can easily read the emotion, because it's just way easier to figure out emotions by random pitch changes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just much easier. I have watched a lot of animes in sub, well, like in high school and stuff like that, and they're good if you start with sub. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Maybe if you're right now, if that's a big issue, you might want to wait like a week or two to start watching it until all the dub is out. Because I mean, 3 weeks from now, because I heard every Monday they release a dubbed episode.
I think
So in 3
yeah.
weeks, everything should be dubbed.
I will say, and this is very funny to me, because I watched most of season 2 in the sub, and Lily is not good with names. You'll figure out. I say with love, but you know, you're not good with all the names. Lily, I think, sent me a text sometime earlier this week because I've been asking her to keep me updated on her thoughts. And she didn't call Shigure. She called him something else that I didn't know if she was asking. Yeah, Shugo. And I didn't know if she was referring to Shigure or Shishu, which is what they call Kazuma, who is Kyo's adoptive dad, in the sub. So I was like, is it Shishu or is it Shigure?
Oh, because I've been sending Megan videos because I really like using audio message on iPhone, but I can't do that because she doesn't have an iPhone, so I've been sending videos.
Yeah.
And Megan doesn't like it.
No, I'm fine with it. I just feel bad because I would also rather have an iPhone.
We had a whole conversation talking about Shigure, and I called him Shogo the whole time.
Yeah.
Shogo is my favorite character and my favorite anime ever, Psycho-Pass. And he's beautiful and wonderful, but they're very similar, I guess. But yes, yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna reference these characters as something they're either totally not, or just by their animal.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going with your thoughts. What did you think? Living through season 2. This is something you've never seen before, because season 1 follows season 1 pretty closely. There's like some extra scenes and episodes in there, but season 2 has nothing to it branches off. It continues the story, so it was all new for you. What did you think?
Yes, it was all new. There was some themes of similar things that happened. Like I think in one of the episodes, like they had like a weird party or something, and I was like, wow, that happened in the first one, but that's such a random thing to have happen that matches up. I think that happened. It might have not happened.
Okay.
So unclear.
Yeah, that's so vague that I'm like, that could be anything.
My thoughts. Akito, is that her name?
Akito.
She is a bitch.
Yes.
Again, trigger warning, a lot of abuse happens in this. I've never been in an abusive relationship, so I can't speak on understanding it or anything.
Right. Yes. This is something I wanted to talk to you about. Yes.
So yeah, so when I talk about these things, just know that I don't understand, but I'm going to try to be as sympathetic as I can, or not sympathetic, but I'm going to try to put myself in the shoes of somebody like that, because a lot of my thought process while watching it is like, just leave.
Yeah.
I know that that's not easy.
No, I have to explain this because it's not, for them, it's not that easy. Like, I know that's how it's like in an abusive relationship, but because Akito is their god, she can tell them like they don't want to leave her. They have like this personal connection to her that they can't control. So that's why Hattori wasn't mad at her for partially blinding him in one eye. That's why Kyo couldn't, when Akito was scratching up Toru's face, that's why none of the 3 boys could go and defy her, because they were like, she has that power over them. It's insane that Momiji was able to. One of my favorite characters, bless my bunny boy. That's why, And that is a sign of the curse, because the curse is really half of it is them being turned into animals, but the other half of it is them not being able to have their own free will. You know, they can get their choice taken away at any time.
What happens in this show is symbolism for what normal people would go through.
Yeah.
So, like, in a way, yes, it's their God and they have a bond with them, so they can't leave them. But in another way, it can resemble, like, praising, like, you know, I was in a relationship for a long time that I shouldn't have been. And I won't say it was abusive at all, because it wasn't. But it was like,
it wasn't.
You idolize that person.
Yeah.
So much that you're like, I don't know what my life would be without you, even though I'm not actually living my life with you.
Yeah.
In that way, like to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of symbolism in there, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I haven't read the manga, so everything I know is related to the anime, and that's mostly just because I want to be surprised and I'm bad at reading. So
I actually think I'm going to start reading the
that's
manga.
so cool. I am under the impression that something about Akito makes her redeemable, because people like Akito, which is insane to me. So I think we're gonna get Akito's backstory in season 3.
I hope so, because cover your ears if you don't want to hear.
We're in the spoiler zone.
Yeah, but this is like a spoiler, not even for
Fine.
season 2.
Spoiler zoo, choo choo.
Spoiler, extra spoiler.
I said zoo.
Because Shigure gets with
Akito. Yeah.
So there has to be something redeemable about her, unless he's just a bitch too, but I really don't think he is.
Kinda
that
is.
much. Okay, we're exiting out of that spoiler zone.
And we're back.
Choo-choo. It's left the station.
Yeah. Well, what else? Other thoughts?
Hot characters.
Hot characters. Okay, so Yuki Soma's my favorite character. I'm not super attracted to Yuki Soma, though, because I think I see a lot of myself in him, and that's why he's my favorite, and I just like his character growth in general. If I were to date any Fruits Basket characters, it would either be Hatsuharu, just because, oh my god, he is like the most
emo boy, right?
Well, not even though. He's like the nicest boy.
Punk
he always the punk boy, the cow. Sorry. Yes. And usually that's not my type, but he is literally the best person in the whole show, other than maybe Toru, because he's always putting other people first. He's always concerned about other people's emotions. He reads his friends super well. I'm just like, God damn it, Haru. Why are you the sweetest? Like, he would be like the best person in a relationship. Or like the best boyfriend.
I agree.
Also, though,
and Rin on the other hand is also super sexy.
Oh my god, I know. They're such a power couple. Oh my god, I love
some
Rin.
Damage in life.
Yeah, there's like a thing going around where they're like, if anyone was to make Toru bisexual, it's Rin. And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
But like,
what?
Kakuro too. Kakuro's my type.
Who's Kakuro?
He's Manabe. I'll call him Manabe. That's easier for me to say. He's the vice president. He's Yuki's friend.
Oh, yeah, he's
cute. Yeah, I like Manabe a lot too. I think out of everyone, he's the most my type.
I have a lot.
Hattori, love him.
He's the only, other than Toru, he's the only, and Kyo, Toru, and Yuki. Hattori is the only name I will remember outside of those three. Then, not Yuki, Ryu, not Ryu, Kyo's dad.
Kazuma.
Kazuma. Big Daddy vibes.
Yeah.
Big Daddy vibes. I love him, and I love how, what's Toru's friend that's emo?
Hana, oh my god, you've seen it now.
Yeah, they like get together.
Yeah, they do. Have you've seen the play episode, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, wait, that's Kyo's dad? I'm gonna marry him, and you're like, Hana.
An extra spoiler. I don't think she marries him.
Oh, I'm sure they do. This is Japan.
Well, I know what happens. I looked it up.
Oh, They don't get married?
We're entering the extra choo choo
We're
train.
already there, Lily. Just let it go.
Okay,
People have entered
guys,
this place willingly.
I think all we're gonna spoil is basically like who gets
End
together.
game, yes.
After the
Because that's all we
stuff.
know for the most part.
Yeah, because I'm not really looking into like story-wise what happened. I just want to know, like, do these people get together? Like, should I take their relationship seriously? And so she ends up, because you know how he's bad at cooking.
Yeah.
She ends up being a cook for him.
Okay.
And then they aren't insinuated to be married because at one point she has a child with like a foreigner.
Oh.
And she's like a single mom later.
Crazy. Okay,
yeah, so she doesn't get with him. I think it's like they might have like hooked up a few times maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really get together.
Weird. Okay.
Which is probably just because of the age gap and they don't want to
they don't care.
Make it too creepy.
Yeah, which is good. There's some problematic relationships in Fruits Basket. That'll be the next segment we talk about, don't worry.
What's the segment? I'm done.
Oh, we're done talking?
Wait, am I done talking about Cute Boys?
No, well, we were talking about what your thoughts were of season 2.
That's pretty much it. I'm really like I almost forgot about the last few episodes just because I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for the dub to actually know my opinions on them. But other than that, there's cute daddies in there. By the way, if we ever do something about different anime in this, it's mostly animes. I'm into the daddy figures, and I think it's partially because I've had daddy issues in my life.
Yeah.
So I like a guy that is like very put together.
Yeah.
Not in real life, only in shows. But yes. Yeah.
I don't know if I have a type.
Because I've been down that path of guys in real life who don't have their shit together.
Yeah.
It's a trap, bitches. Don't do it. You can't fix anybody.
Yeah.
It will just waste your goddamn time.
Right. My thoughts. Okay. Season 2, I watched it as it came out. So that was this summer it started. Wow. Blew my socks out. Every episode, I was just like, holy cow. Biggest takeaways, the beach arc was so good. Oh my god.
Yes.
Every second of it.
Too.
I'm currently rewatching season 2, so I'm very excited. My other favorite part, student council. I just really like that we get to look into Yuki's backstory because when I originally watched the show, I thought Yuki was the most boring piece of shit ever. I thought he was the worst. I was like, Kyo and Toru need to get together forever. And I still think they do. But I get to see more of Yuki's personality and what he was like meant to be. And how I just am like, wow, this is such a great character arc. And he's at the point in his character arc when he can start helping other people like go through theirs. So like he's helping Kyo, which is so funny to me every time where he's like, Kyo, just ask her out. Just ask her out. And also he's starting to help Machi in her character arc. So I'm very excited.
Yes. It's very sad. In season 2, it's very sad how a lot of these people are being abused mentally because they keep thinking, oh, like I can't, I'm just useless.
Yeah.
It's very deep, and if you're depressed, I really highly suggest probably not watching this show. Even though Maegan did. If you're triggered and depressed, maybe not.
I don't know. Like, because I have...
I'm depressed.
Yeah,
all the
I have
time,
depression too,
and it helps me, but...
I think it might... I can't speak for everyone's experience, and I tend to be in the belief where if you're watching a show that doesn't make you feel good, then you should stop watching it, unless you think it outweighs it. But I feel like Fruits Basket takes these topics and shows you that there's like a light at the end of...
A brighter side to them.
Like, you'll be okay in the end, and there's people who care about you, even if you're not aware of it. So...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And also, it's like, you know, even if these characters are going through like, hopelessness or like, I'm not worth it. But you think they're stupid because you're like, how can you not see everybody loves you? How can you not see all of this? And it's a good way to like think about yourself like that. When I'm feeling that way, somebody's looking down on me right now and going, well, how could you be so stupid?
Yeah.
Look at all these people.
I think this is going to get sappy as hell. But Fruits Basket really did help me with my anxiety and my depression because I think it really let me take a step back and look at myself and who I was as a person. I came out as bisexual when I was watching Fruits Basket. Interesting.
Did you?
Yeah. That was the summer I came out.
Did you see Rin yet?
No. So I know,
okay.
surprising.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, that
though.
would have been funny.
What was your out of the closet moment? When I realized I totally was
like,
into Rin.
But no, I think
Rin makes me think that I'm bisexual.
Yeah, she's really hot.
That's how cute she is, and I'm straight.
But I think watching Fruits Basket, because like I said, I saw a lot of myself in Yuki, so a lot of Yuki's stories I took to heart and was like, yeah. But I also
So if you were go on.
I also watched it seeing Toru and seeing how Toru's been like a positive effect on all the other people around her. And I'm like, you know what? I've been really down on myself and really mean and really boo me. And I was like, I want to be a better person like Toru. So I think I've mellowed out a lot over the past year.
Yeah, I actually think that too. Something that you can really learn from this is like, not you specifically, but like the audience. Like, it's hard because I'm like, oh my god, I want to be like Toru, but at the same time you go, oh wait, she has emotional trauma.
Yeah.
That's why she's so nice.
You see it in season 2 and you're like, you know,
like she shouldn't be this nice. It's not good for her, but it is like very
she's an inspiration, but not like don't take it as far as she does, but you see how like the positive effects that she has on other people and like the things that she will do for them, and you're like, yeah, I want to be like that.
So what character do you think you're most like in Fruits Basket?
Probably Yuki. I don't want to say that 100%, but I definitely for a while related about his story arc of like other people seeing him as one thing and not really caring about who they are like as a person and as themselves, and him not really feeling comfortable being himself around other people because he thought people wouldn't like him. So I had that like pretty bad during that year, and then as he started coming out of his shell, I'm like, like I think by the time season 2 where he started coming out of the shell, I had worked through my shit already. But that's why I root for him so much. That's why I love him so much. He's just a good boy.
I think you're a mix of the teacher and Yuki.
Like Mayu?
Is that her name?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. What do you think I am? Who do you think I'm most like? I don't really think I'm like anybody on this.
I'm thinking because you definitely have something. I see a little bit. I really don't know. You might be right.
Yeah, I don't really think I'm like anybody. Like, you can make a mixture of anybody and make somebody's personality be in there, but I just can't even think of it.
Huh. Well, comment below.
I'd like to think I'm like the emo best friend, but I don't think I'm like the emo best friend.
Well, no, I think you have some similarities. I think you're very wise when it comes to like how you feel with your emotions. I think you're in touch with your emotions, and that's something that Haru really has. So I can see. I can also see Rin in you a little bit though too, because you're like a ride or die kind of person. I feel, Yeah,
I am, which is very weird because I'm a Capricorn.
Oh my god. Sorry, my younger brother Alex is also a Capricorn, so I hear a lot of Capricorns. Because like it's mostly Capricorns that are like, yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, you are.
Wait, I think that Capricorns are ride or die, aren't they?
Maybe?
Pretty much, yeah. I think so. Because we don't think about things too much. I mean, we do, but we
You internalize, I think, a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we pick something. We're not indecisive. As indecisive. What else? What else do we talk about with Fruits Basket?
Go on to the not so great part. So, like I said, I still recommend Fruits Basket to anyone. I think it is a very, very, very good show and story. But there are some negative things in it that come with when it was written and who wrote it. I'm not saying anything against the author. The author is a lovely woman, but because of the culture she comes from, being gay is frowned upon. So she didn't write that in her story. But there's a lot of queer baiting.
There is a lot, and also from being in that culture, I don't know anything about this other than like the fact that unless it's different in the manga, of course, but like it seems like they made fun of gay people in this. Like it's always the comic relief, which is very, very common. But it's like weird to.
I've definitely seen it worse. You said that to me, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad, but that might also just be because the characters that they're kind of making fun of. It's one of those death of the author situations for me. So because nothing has been explicitly stated as canon, I'm just believing what I want. So I'm like, yes, Haru is of course a bisexual. He was in love with Yuki. Like, come on.
Wait, Haru? Haru?
Hatsuharu. He's the
who's that?
He's the emo.
Oh, you think he's bisexual?
Yes. In his introductory episode, he goes on about how Yuki was his first love. Like, that's one of his stories, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
Haru is a flaming bisexual. Ayame is a flaming bisexual. He was like, hey, as class president, I will be the bottom for all of these boys. And you're like, God damn it, Ayame. But he has a girlfriend canonically, so that makes him bisexual. I see...
Who is his girlfriend
Mine
again?
She's the one that dresses like the maid.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're really cute. I like them a lot, too. Like, the thing is, I would be a lot angrier about it if the characters, like, the relationships in the story weren't so goddamn well written. I think there's some cases where I feel like it's a little forced, like with Uotani, who's the blonde friend. I think she's a lesbian. I don't really see the chemistry between her and Bird Boy.
I think that was very poorly explained because, after meeting somebody 2 times, you're not going to feel like that, like, unless you're crazy.
And he's, like, 10 years older than her.
Yeah, which it seems so weird because I'm like, oh, 28, yeah, I can totally date a 28-year-old. But then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not 17
Yeah,
anymore.
And it's...
I'm
one of those things where when you're 17, you're like, yeah, I could date a 27-year-old. But when you're a 27-year-old, if you're interested in a 17-year-old, that is creepy as fuck.
It's creepy.
If you're 21 years old and you're interested in a 17-year-old, that's creepy as fuck. If you're 20 years old and you're dating a 16-year-old, that's creepy as fuck. I'm calling out. This is a call out.
Would you say another call out, Megan, just your opinion, if you were, say, a 23-year-old and you knew somebody and were friends with them when they were 17, they just turned 18, would it be weird for them to date? Or for him to be...
I think it's one of those things where yes, because, like, you're not just... The day she turns 18, your feelings don't just awaken inside of you. You're not just like, oh, now that she is 18, my hormones have switched to now. Like, if someone's like, I'm waiting till they're 18 to date them, that's still creepy as fuck. Yeah.
Yes, and that was specifically a call out that only me, you, and that one other person know. Call out! Hashtag red flag.
Woo! I don't know if we've brought this up in this. Okay, we had an old thing. Okay. Wee red flag. If you're friends with an older person that is older than, I'll say 20, because there's a little bit of gray area when you're 18 or 19 dating like a 17-year-old because they're only 2 years younger than you and you probably knew them in like high school or something. If you are if you freshly turn 18 and your 23-year-old friend is like, hey, you're very mature for your age. I think we should go out.
This is getting oddly specific.
Yeah, so it's just your gal pals watching out for you.
Red flags. You'll hear that later. And it will never go away because red flags
exist everywhere.
They're red flags for a reason. They're red for a reason. Okay, so weird relationship. I actually really like them together, and I really cannot wait for them to be.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot his name. I'm like 90% sure his name starts with an R. Oh, I'm the worst fan.
I
Oh
think
well.
so too.
Bird Boy.
Um,
Sorry, fans. Fake
I
fan.
think I think the only reason that I find them very good for each other, not very, I think that they're not very good for each other because I think that he should be trying a little harder, but obviously circumstances he cannot control. He is in an abusive relationship. But it's like I'm rooting for them because it seems like the most realistic relationship that's happened, I guess, where somebody's fighting their feelings for somebody because they just don't know if
Yeah,
they
I
can
guess
do
that
it.
makes sense.
That seems pretty realistic to me. And seems like a good love story where you're like, when are the tables going to turn? Because we never really have that for anybody else. Like, when are the tables going to turn? But I'm excited for knowing that they get together. I'm excited for when the tables turn, and I'm excited to see that play out in season 3.
Yeah, I really don't know anything about them.
I mean, they're playing it up.
Yeah,
I know it's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. Maybe his name starts with a K. Maybe it's something.
It's the rooster guy. That's not a rooster.
He's
anymore.
Something, that's for sure.
He's very cute.
Yeah, the thing I do like about their relationship is Uo said that he reminds her of Toru. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of sweet. You know? Also pretty gay, but whatever. Kurino! I looked it up. Kurino!
That's it.
It was a K.
But also, I think it's just so sweet how he's so clumsy around her, but then he's so put together because he has to be when he's not around her. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that character go and never stop. Don't ever stop the character development.
I am interested because I don't know if you've picked up on it a little bit, but Momiji has a crush on Toru.
Oh,
he does, and I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, because I'm like, you don't got a chance, buddy. I'm sorry, you're the Kevin Jonas. You don't got a chance.
Gets the short end of the stick with like everything. I'm like, my poor bunny boy. He's such a good character in person.
They're too similar.
Yeah.
They're too similar,
I don't think
though.
they would work together because I think they could never be their true selves around each other. You know? I think they'd be... Yeah.
They'd just be nice all the time.
Kyo challenges her and she challenges Kyo. So they're really good together. I love them. But I'm like, oh, poor Momiji is like the one character that doesn't get paired with anyone. I think he's like the literal one character that doesn't get paired with anyone.
I know.
I'm like, Momiji. We're years of the rabbit.
Okay, are we... Any last thoughts on Fruits Basket before we get into these other animes that would be good for anybody going through withdrawals from Fruits Basket?
I don't think so. I think I'm done.
Okay.
Wait. We Kakaru. Yes. We never talked about Manabe and Yuki because they're also super queer baited.
Manabe and Yuki. Oh,
okay. We're
yeah. I don't see that.
You don't see it. You don't see
that they're
okay.
Queer
Yeah, this is one of those fine line things.
That.
Where I personally also don't really see it. I see them more as him more as like the best friend Yuki never got to have. However, I do know a lot of people that ship them, and I can also understand that because they have good chemistry with each other.
They do.
But I think for me,
they would be a good couple.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I just like Yuki better with Machi because I read someone made a post about it, and I'm sorry I'm not quoting you, but if you find this post, think of her, you know, or him. It's Tumblr, who knows, where they're like, Yuki didn't end up with Toru because he needs to be in a relationship with someone he knows he can like be on the same level with and help and like contribute towards the relationship with, and if he's in a relationship with Toru, he can't really do that because he's very reliant on her, like emotionally. Like with Machi, she is like in this. She understands him, I think, in a way other people don't. Like she sees past his prince facade. Oh my god! Funniest moment of the season is where the girls are bullying Machi, and they're like, "What do you think of the prince?" And Yuki's eavesdropping, and she's like, "Oh, he's an airhead." He's also he's also lonely. What a dumbass. And Yuki's like, wow, I'm gonna date that girl. That's the funniest moment to me.
Well, he probably hasn't met many girls
I
who
don't,
don't
I
like
don't think he's
go
met
crazy
any
over
girls
him.
other than like Kagura.
Also, I just want to say, it's easy for us to go, oh, these people wouldn't be good together. How nice would it be if we lived in a world where we could
Oh,
see, oh, those people
I know,
would be good
right?
together? Like, because everybody's like the same
Yeah.
emotionally in this world. Not the same, but like you don't see those moments that you do like
Yeah.
on a TV show. But they're there. And I wish
Yeah.
we could see them. It would be so
Yeah.
helpful, wouldn't it?
All right, throw out those recs, baby.
Okay, so I have like
Great.
5 recommendations. I'll give a quick summary. I just want to say, first of all, I have not watched any of these shows
Okay.
since high school. So my descriptions may be a little weird, maybe a little off. They're spoiler free, so we're exiting the spoiler zone for this. But the most similar show to Fruits Basket that I have watched, and all of these are like very common, just like Fruits Basket. You've probably heard of them before. Is Blue Exorcist.
I've heard of it.
Have you heard of that show before? It's about 2 brothers who are the sons of Satan, and they're like twin brothers. And what I wrote down is 2 brothers are sons of Satan, are good learn to live and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
But basically, they're 2 twin brothers. One of them has a tail. It's pretty cool. One of the twin brothers is like super like depressed and kind of like, oh, what am I doing in this world? And the other one's super smart. But then later on, you realize that they're trying to be good and they have emotional trauma and stuff like that. And it's the same, like face value, it's very similar, but also emotionally, it's very similar to Fruits Basket. So that's one that I recommend. The second one is The Devil is
Okay, I've heard of that one.
Which is a very short series. I think it's like 14 episodes, but it's about like a demon who wants to come into this world, and he is a servant, and then he gets a part-time job at something called McDonald's, which is a McDonald's knockoff, and he learns to live among humans and appreciates it. Again, face value, it's very similar, but it doesn't have a lot of friendship themes at all, so that's the main difference. Blue Exorcist really helped me get out of Fruits Basket the first time I watched it more than this one. But Oron's High School Host Club.
I've heard of. I haven't seen it. I don't watch a lot of
before?
anime, so yeah.
Okay. It's basically this girl goes to this private school, but she can't afford it, so she has to be like a guy to go there, so she pretends to be a guy. And then there's this high school host club where these guys basically dress up and do fun things for girls, and they come and have tea and stuff like that. It's very weird. But basically, she breaks a vase for their club, and she can't pay it off, so she works as a like a helper, an errand boy for them. So these last 3 are not very... They're darker animes, so they're not very cutesy, but emotionally they're very similar, so I decided to give them a special shout out. So first one is Death Parade. I love this one. It's basically this girl dies. So whenever anybody dies, they go to this place where it's like a bar, where this guy who's dressed as a bartender evaluates them and their life and gives them fun mini games to play against each other and stuff like that. And he decides who goes to heaven and hell. And this girl comes and he can't figure her out, so she shadows him. But then it gets into like the bartender guy who decides, is like, what am I doing here? What about my life? What happened to my life? And it's very deep on that, of like figuring out what your purpose is. And then Megan, I think you know that these last 2 are my favorite animes ever. Psycho-Pass. Have you seen any of
I haven't
Psycho-Pass?
seen like any anime. Let's be real.
Okay, I didn't know because I think your brother
yeah,
really
both my brothers went through an anime phase.
it.
So they've seen a lot more than I have. I watched like Fairy Tail, but I wouldn't recommend
I talked with Alex about Psycho-Pass. Okay, Psycho-Pass, best anime ever. I don't even think I need to describe it because it's actually really popular.
I don't know what it's about.
But it's about friendship and bonds. This girl It's like, but it is set in like the future. It's very futuristic. Just go watch it. There's like people you want to be together, but they aren't being together, and there's emotional, there's trauma, there's so much. And then Black Butler is really similar as well. And that's the last anime I'll recommend. Because it is very cutesy, but then it also has dark themes and trauma. And most of those are just similar because a lot of them have this front of being very like happy and go get them, but then they turn into something where it's like, oh shoot, this is darker than I thought it would be. So yeah, those are the ones that I would recommend getting out of your.
All right, I'm just going to make recommendations. They're not going to be animes. I was going to do animes, but the only 2 other animes I really remember watching, three, I don't know if I would recommend because they're very fluffy, face value. Yeah, one is Kani-sama Kiss. One is The President is a Maid. And then the third one is Fairy Tale. I watched those all in high school, I think. So here are my recs. Any Studio Ghibli movie, I think, will give you similar vibes. Just anyone. They're all good, in my opinion. Going off of that, another movie, Your Name, is super good. The premise is that these 2 people keep waking up in each other's bodies, and they don't know who the other is. And then it gets crazy. It's an anime movie.
Is it an anime?
It's really good. It's really fucking good. I own it. It's that good.
I hate movies and I hate anime movies.
Try that one.
I'm just gonna say
that one might be good for you. Another anime movie. I watched this one more recently. I think this year. Oh no! If you want a Fruits Basket one, Wolf Children is also an anime movie where they literally turn into wolves. So like, if you like the animal switching part. There you go, Wolf Children. But it's also a really good movie. I just thought that was funny. A Whisker Away, another animal switching movie where a girl turns into a cat sometimes. That's a really good movie. It's on Netflix. I would recommend. And then finally, not even an anime, but if you like Eastern Asian media, we all know I'm a K-pop fan. But before I was a K-pop fan, and as I was getting my wisdom teeth ripped from my jaw, I watched this K-drama, which is a South Korean drama called Strong Girl Bong Soon. And it's about this girl who has super strength that gets passed down from each female member of the family. And if she does bad things with it, her powers will get taken away. But it's like she's so strong she can't control her own strength. And it's so good. I don't really like K-dramas. I've seen a few and I think they get too dramatic for me, but not in like a good way, in like a silly love triangle way. But Strong Girl Bong Soon is so good. I would recommend it to people who don't even watch. It's like a comedy, but there's like dramatic moments. It's so good.
You have to watch Psycho Pass.
Okay, I'll give it a try. It just won't be immediately.
You will love it. You will get invested and you will like it almost as much as Fruits Basket. I promise you. There's plenty of ships to be had. There's a lesbian girl that's a badass.
Lesbian?
Kind of looks like an adult version.
Sorry, whenever I watch a show where there's
a
girl who might be a lesbian, I go, lesbian? Woo!
Actually, they're cute because they're
also not related.
And they're main characters.
But The Queen's Gambit and Haunting of Hill House are also very good shows I've seen recently. They're not animes at all. Not even related. They're just really good.
Interesting. You've
I don't think you would like Haunting of Hill House is a horror show, so if you don't like scary things, probably don't watch that. But Queen's Gambit's really good.
Have you seen Gallivant?
I think I saw the first season when it came out. Yeah.
Like the singing show?
I bet it is, but I'm very much on theater withdrawal right now, and I can't. Yeah. Maybe in 10 years.
Don't do it.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.